How's it going, everyone? It's Caleb Lumley here, and today we're going to be talking about a game I just picked up on a whim. It's a newer game, and it's called Bramble, the Mountain King. And the reason why I picked this game up is because I really like Nordic fairy tales and fables and mythology, and this game is set in basically a Nordic fairy tale. It's full of fables, it's full of mythical creatures, it's full of all sorts of just different magical, mythical things, and it's so great. It's such a cool world to just dive right into and lose yourself in. It is a narrative game. It's heavily focused on telling you a story, but you are still controlling your character. You're solving puzzles as you go through the game and everything, and the story that's telling you is fantastic. And it basically really is telling you a story because it even has like a narrator that will talk like he's reading a book to you, and it's so fantastic. I should say she's talking to you. But yeah, she's reading a book to you, and it's really just cool how they did that. And this game really does feel like you basically just get dropped right into the middle of a Brothers Grimm storyline. It really does feel like that. It's dark, it's twisted. There's so many different twists and turns. There's a lot of ups and downs in this story, and I mean that in a good way. You just never know what's going to happen, and this game kept me guessing all the way until the end. And the way it tells this story like it is an actual book is so well done. You can actually find other books that tell you more lore about the world that you're exploring and just kind of give you more of a glimpse inside this just amazing fantasy world, and it's so awesome. I love how fleshed out this world is. I love how everything ties together, and this is just such a fun game. And it's fun, too. The puzzles are very well designed. There are boss fights, and the boss fights are pretty difficult in some spots. The final boss fight was really difficult, and there's another boss fight that's towards the middle of the game that's pretty difficult as well, with like this... I guess it's like this woman who's causing a disease throughout this village, and you have to fight her, and that is a very hard boss fight as well. And there's just all sorts of cool looking characters in this, cool looking creatures, and like I said, just amazing Nordic creatures, and I absolutely loved it. The game, its story, is about a boy who goes looking for his missing sister that gets taken by a troll, and this troll is actually taking his sister to the mountain to basically be dinner for the Mountain King, and the whole job of the boy is to get his sister back before she gets eaten by the Mountain King. And that's how this story begins, and that's how you get put on this crazy adventure. Graphically, this game is absolutely amazing. It's not going to be probably like AAA quality or whatever, but I think it still looks pretty darn good. I think it's a pretty good looking game. It has a very artsy style that I really like. It really does feel like you are looking at a picture in a fairy tale book, and you're just like playing in that fairy tale book. That's how it looks, and it's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. And all the characters that you run into, there's not really any dialogue between the characters that is actually spoken outside the narrator telling you what's being said, but the characters that you meet, you still are able to connect with them. You meet this frog prince, and I really love the frog prince. I thought the frog prince was adorable. You meet this stone character, and this character who's made of stone is just like an absolute sweetheart of a character, and you feel so bad for him, but then when you help him, like, he doesn't forget that you helped him, so he constantly starts helping you from then on, because he finally made a friend, and just stuff like that. It really does hit on the heartstrings, and it really does, it hits you. It makes you feel for these characters, and it makes you feel for this world, and it makes you want to help more characters in the world, and it makes you want to see the main character succeed. And the main character goes through so many trials and tribulations himself. He goes through so many regrets. He has guilt that he goes throughout this journey, because there's things that he can't stop. There's things that he can't accomplish that he wishes that he could, and he's doing all this stuff, and he keeps failing. And the one thing he doesn't want to fail is getting his sister back. And it's like I said, his story, it pulls on the heartstrings. It keeps you guessing, and there's going to be a lot of dark and messed up stuff that happens in this game. So I will say if you're someone who has like depression or anxiety issues and fictional stories like this bother you, definitely pass on this game because, like I said, this is a very, very dark game. I gotta bring up the soundtrack for this game as well because the soundtrack is beautiful. It is absolutely gorgeous, especially when you're just walking in the fields and the peaceful scenes. When you have a moment of kind of just like peacefulness and just a moment of serenity, and you're in the daylight and you just hear the beautiful music in the background and the singing, it's so good. And even the boss fight music is so good, especially the final boss fight. You'll recognize the final boss fight, and it's a remix of a classic, and that it was just awesome. It was an awesome song for the final boss fight, and it just felt fitting. I love the music of this game, and I love all of the boss fights music. I love all of the boss fights in general. There's so many cool boss fights, from this like woman that's causing diseases, from this other woman who is a shapeshifter, from this butcher that you're trying to escape. There's so many cool scenarios and so many cool different bosses in this game. I think one thing that really stands out to me, after everything, and I mean, this game, everything is good about this game, really. I mean, there's some frame rate drop that I noticed, but that's like, I'm not going to beat the game over the head for just a little bit of frame rate drop in one spot of the game, and it didn't even drop that bad. I'm not going to beat the game over the head for that. But the thing that really stuck out to me is just the atmosphere of this game. It is absolutely magical. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Yet at the same time, it's grotesque. It's creepy. It's terrifying. It managed to mix something beautiful with something absolutely disturbing. And it does such a good job of that. There's so many moments in this game that are just downright creepy, and so many designs of the Nordic creatures from the Nordic fables that are just absolutely terrifying. And there's so many scenarios that your character gets put in that are absolutely just terrifying and disturbing. And it just makes for an absolutely great adventure, a great setting, and amazing atmosphere. I cannot recommend this game enough. This, to me, is a must-play on any system, period. Like, this is a must-play current-gen game, and this is the first current-gen game that I'm actually going to give a 10 out of 10 masterpiece on. I love this game. I love everything about it. I loved it from the beginning. I loved it to the middle. I loved it to the end. I love all the boss fights. I love all the characters. I love the adventuring. I love finding the different, hidden, like, there's like these hidden wooden carvings that you can find of the characters and stuff like that. I loved every bit of it. This is an amazing game, and I cannot recommend it enough. Go play Bramble the Mountain King. It's a 10 out of 10 from me. It's a masterpiece to me, and I don't think that you will regret playing this game. It's not very long either. It's only 4.5 hours long, and I think at that length, it's definitely still worth your time, worth picking up and playing through. It's not a full retail game either. On Steam, it's $30, and the physical edition was $35. Again, go check this game out. It's absolutely amazing. I'll talk to you in the next video. You have a fantastic day. Go play Bramble, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.